It's almost already time for a new patch, and if you look at the roadmap, it might not be too exciting. It just says The Forbidden Reach and some other little bits. But in our exploration of it, no. We have found an actual ton of content and some insanely cool new stuff. So let's go and learn everything we need to about 10.0.7 after a word from our sponsor. Squarespace.com/Bellular Gaming, the place to rapidly establish yourself on the web. They've actually ran 2 of our sites, most recently the one for our game studio. Now, their easy-to-use site builder and award-winning templates make the whole process super easy to do, and with great other features like e-commerce, memberships, and mailing lists, you just have it all sorted. Now, my sites were all built with their handy pre-made blocks, which just made it a super approachable way to quickly build a web presence, really no matter what your skill level is going in. Now, of course, they do have the fancy stuff too, like your code injection and your custom CSS to let me do a few neat things for our game's website, and on the e-commerce front, they can even plug into like your fulfillment center, which makes everything automatic, so that's kind of awesome. Of course, for many though, just a great portfolio is all that you need, a personal site, and that's where Squarespace's fantastic content-forward templates will help you put your best foot forward, coming off like a total pro, and giving whoever you want to impress a great first impression. So you can start building your site for free today with my link down below, and code Bellular Gaming will get you 10% off an annual plan when you're ready to send it live. That's squarespace.com/Bellular Gaming. And here is a rundown of our features. Yeah, it's actually quite a lot, isn't it? The Forbidden Reach is absolutely packed with the kind of stuff we'd only expect in a major patch, like new story and new reputations. Yeah, that too. The Scara Vaults are an entirely new set of solo mini-dungeons that are focused on lore and puzzles. There's a new customizable and upgradable bit of gear. Basically, you get a free, really good ring that becomes Biss, so it'll be great for any stragglers in Season 1, but Blizzard say it shouldn't impact Season 2 much. There's new content for each of the major factions, a way to support them all daily, new stuff for professions to craft, human and orc heritage armor questlines being in with color variations, new hair colors for these 2 races, long-lost vanilla transmogs are back via ensembles and professions. Also, there's a story for Baine Bloodhoof at last, and 6 new dog mounts. Oh, and the rework of the Retribution Paladin that is getting some people super hype because why not? So let's dig through and see if any of it's actually good. First, the most interesting new thing, those puzzle mini dungeons. When you think of dungeons in a more old school way, what image forms in your head? I mean, it's probably a big dragon in a cave, probably lying on a big hoard of gold. I mean, that's what dragons do, they hoard stuff. And Deathwing is really the Earth Hoarder, no different. The Dragonscale Expedition uncover these untouched vaults full of knickknacks from all over Azeroth, his failed experiments, and, let's be honest, big lore items. So there are the Scara Vaults 1 through 4, or in this case, Az through Kix. Each of them, anyway, is full of chambers, and you need keys to open these chambers. Keys are acquired from rares, treasures, and seemingly some weekly quests. You, of course, get a handful for free, so you can start right away. Now, before you're worrying about infinitely repeating Torghast content, don't. Once you get in, you find a host of actually pretty innovative for the game puzzles, like a Legend of Zelda favorite, filling up a bottle with fire in one room, and then taking it to another room to melt some magic ice down. And that's the thing. This isn't procedural. This is not random. This is all handcrafted. They are instanced, but your progress is stored. So every chamber you open in each of the vaults stays open. So the idea is you explore the Forbidden Reach, doing all that there is to do. As you do that, you collect a stack of rewards, but also keys. You use those keys to go into the vaults to do some treasure hunting. The closest comparison that we have in other WoW terms, and specifically for like theme and vibe, is the Trove of the Thunder King, just that this feature is not a time sort of race thing. So to that I say, hell yeah, that's great. There are also a stack of side quests, including a great follow-up to a beloved Waking Shores quest. So that's all nice, and of course, let's not forget rewards. You get to find lore items and treasures. The lore items are super interesting, and the treasures do come in a fairly wide variety. You'll get tons of elemental overflow, more vault keys, bind on account catch-up gear tokens, scrolls that lead you on hunts for renown, and that's only what's on the PTR thus far. There's also then primordial stones, which means yes, it is time to talk about the shiny new ring. The Onyx Amulet is a special ring, and yes, it turns out an amulet is actually a ring. It's not a weird typo. Anyway, this is one of Neltharion's experiments, and it starts off at eye level 405. You find it in the ground the first time you go into a vault. Yes, you get a free eye level 405. The special thing about it, though, is that it's kind of like the Mechagon Punch Card trinket, but taken to the next level. It's missing secondary stats, but it has 3 slots, each of which takes a primordial stone to basically equip with an effect. And those are stones that you find in the vaults. And the level of each of these adds power to the ring up to an eye level of 424. And that means that this should even be a decent starter item for Season 2, but one that will be replaced rather quickly once you're getting into Heroic or decent Mythic Plus gear. Now, as for the stones, you can find them in specific chambers, usually related to the type of puzzle that you're solving, and they have a whole host of effects. I'll give you a quick selection, right? Heals on you will cast healing to nearby allies. Magic damage can throw arcane missiles if you've used different types of magic in the last 20 seconds. Standing still increases armor and auto-attack damage, interrupting does extra fire damage, and any primordial firestone damage is increased by 60% and treated as chaos damage. It's nothing insane, but you can see how it would be cool to build this out and play around with it at the end of the season. There do appear to be some pretty crazy looking synergies. Now, once you get the ring, you also get a quest to find a Juggler's Kit, and this lets you freely remove stones from the ring so that you can swap them around, which is absolutely key. No destroying. And then it gets kind of better. You can upgrade these from eye level 411 to 424, though we're not exactly sure in the process. Blizzard do say it will involve a Jewel Crafter and Dormant Fragments. Now, Dormant Fragments, that's an item that you get from breaking down stones that you do not want. Now, these can then be traded to roll random stones of your chosen type from a vendor. Right now, breaking a stone gives you 6, and then rolling one gives you 10. It's, I suppose, a bit like the Veiled Argonite or Benthic Pearls or something like that from Legion and BFA, but only for a tiny subset of gear, which is a very key thing to learn midway through Season 1, so it's not impactful in the progression that's the most important, and it does have a recycling mechanic. I suppose they're thinking just a little bit of that kind of economy doesn't hurt. Now, of course, Blizzard can mess the whole thing up. If this ring is BIS for Season 2, they've screwed it, and that would be super daft. But they are aware that this is a potential problem, and they should be able to avoid it. This is only one small part of what you'll be doing in the Reach, though, so let's move on. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, you could probably predict some of what I'm going to say here, but there's actually a lot of good, so don't glaze over. We have got rares, treasures, a new Trial of Storms, a new Primal Storm, a new rep for the Alliance, new rep for the Horde, a wave of repeatable daily quests in a hub. It is a patch zone like other patch zones, though, because it's all linked to the vaults, that does make it all feel a good bit more interesting, because everything you're going to be doing here will be getting you keys for the vault. Everything also gives you fat stacks of elemental overflow, which is the Primal Storm's gear currency, and now you can actually buy more stuff with it, like pets, dragon customizations, and buff scrolls for the island. Now, you're not alone in the island either. The Irontide Pirates and Farscale Naga have invaded, searching for watery treasure, so you'll have daily quests to do to drive them off. And also, just the general theming of the rares is particularly strong. Okay, speaking of daily quests, Blizzard have done something actually cool enough with these. In the hub, there's an envoy charter, right? You get to pick which of the 4 Dragonflight main factions that you focus on for the day. This will give you extra tasks on the Reach and a fat 10% reputation gain with that faction for the entire day. There's also then scrolls that lead you to treasures that you can then turn in for rep, which is a cool little gameplay loop. And that is about it for the Reach. Of course, outside of the main story campaign, which we'll need to dig into once it's completely up in the PTR and cover it fully. We do have some hints, though, since the first chapter is called Hidden Legacies. It's dealing with the Drakthir's past, and the data mined internal title for the campaign says, Narrative Arc Forbidden Reach Underground Foreshadowing. Yeah, exciting, but for now, we've got to move on. Let's talk about catch-up. Right, BOA Catchup Gear is in. Primalist gear tokens are here, and you can redeem these for either the 385 Primal Storms gear or the Storm's Fury accessories, and they can now be upgraded all the way to 395. This is not implemented yet, but they upgrade with untapped Forbidden Knowledge, which will probably just drop from everything across the Reach. Now, here are the new upgraded visuals for them too. You'll see that, yeah, it's a green. Doesn't really match the elemental vibe, but hey, if you want a deep green, you've got a deep, vibrant-looking green. Moving on. On professions, there's not a tremendous amount here, which does imply that the main issues will be a 10.1 thing. Because yes, Blizzard certainly have profession problems to solve. But for now, we've gotten new scrolls called Designs, one for every major crafting profession and one for cooking. These will teach you how to make a specific artisan's curio, and we have absolutely no idea what those are for, but they are a new type of item, and they are colored to be purple, like epics, so they're probably quite important. We'll, of course, update you as soon as we find out what's going on. But next, Baine Bloodhoof. All we really know about this is that Baine and the Tauren seem to get in a fight with the Nokhud Centaur and must enact some good old justice. There are some wounded, bloodied braves, NPCs, and importantly, a returning character from Warcraft 3 called Bovan Windtotem. And if you're as old as, I guess, I am, and most of our team is, then you might remember this character from War 3. He was the Tauren Spirit Walker who helped Rexxar free a young Baine Bloodhoof from the Centaur during the Founding of Durotar campaign. If you're not as old as I am, then you won't know that, and you won't have seen some of this, but the Centaur and the Tauren have got a really dark history. The only reason the Kalimdor Tauren are actually still alive is because Thrall's Orcish horde saved them from extinction at the hands of the Centaur when they landed on Kalimdor in Warcraft 3. Now, of course, these Centaur we deal with here are different Centaur, but with the Nokhud, it does seem that the bad vibes remain. Potentially related then, there's been a large Tauren totem data mined, and yes, it's a weapon model. So there you go. Blizzard, it only took you 17 years. But to be serious for a moment, bringing an old Tauren Spirit Walker back from Warcraft 3 for a questline now involving Baine and the Centaur is almost everything that you could ask for. I mean, at long last, one of the best WoW races is actually getting a little bit of love. So thank you. And seriously, this is Blizzard saying sorry, given a lot of that stuff, and given Baine in Shadowlands. So, obviously, better late than never. So I guess, yeah, apology accepted, because they've also been doing good stuff generally outside of this. But speaking of racial quests, let's talk about the next thing. Look at this! Finally some more interesting hair colors, and to boot, that heritage armor also has got color variations. But do note, these data mine previews via Wowhead, who do great work, they do have some 3D elements broken or missing, so they will actually look like the Blizzard preview image in-game, but with those colors. Now, these quests should be available for the respective races at patch launch, but we don't know anything beyond that. There are a few data mine quests about the Orc questline, including a new banner for each of the Orc clans, and some NPCs. There's more Thrall children, which is interesting. But there is one detail that, honestly, we just don't want to spoil for you in this video because I think it'll be a lot stronger to actually, you know, experience it in the game itself. That is the case with most quests, right? As long as they're not broken, that's it. You don't really need to know anything else. But you know what is broken? Not being able to get removed vanilla transmogs. But it's not going to be broken for long. It's about damn time. Vanilla transmog ensemble, profession, recipes, and achievements have been data mined, and they relate to both Zul'Gurub and Naxxramas, which is pretty sweet. Not all the details are clear, but data mining points towards earning a selection of new currencies that will likely be used to purchase both the profession recipes and transmog ensembles. This might not make it for 10.0.7, but the data is there in the PTR. Who the hell knows? And it doesn't seem like a massive amount of content attached to it right now. Who knows, maybe this is a part of a future holiday update. Maybe some callback to vanilla. Maybe they're doing this to set up the 19th anniversary of World of Warcraft. Now, the achievements point towards actual content within Zul'Gurub and Naxxramas, and the Nax stuff is the Argent Dawn assault on Nax, not the Crusade. So yeah, we might actually see it return. Awesome! As for some more details, one of the currencies is called the Hikari Bijou, of which there are 9 different colors to collect. There are then a ton of ensembles ensuring that you can get the gear that, well, you might actually want to go and get. There are some weapons, a few ones that look really awesome, and some miscellaneous items that will be made by crafters. I kind of assume you buy the ensembles and the recipes with that currency, but it also looks like there's recipe mats that are all like actual vanilla and Zul'Gurub related materials, which honestly is cool because it makes those things relevant again. When you think about World of Warcraft, it's kind of nice when that means more than just current X-Pack. What else then? Well, as you might have noticed, we haven't really talked about core game updates, like class changes or the really crazy lore finds. That's because there's actually a lot of it. Keep an eye out for plenty of videos coming up soon on the channel, of course. Some of these, like the Paladin revamp, really do deserve like a proper go of it. All in all then, this is actually shaping up to be a pretty spicy patch, and it's only a 0.7. If 10.1 ends up being a full underground patch zone like we would usually expect, we're going to be just from content drought to a veritable content flood. And that feels damn good. Oh man. It actually feels like the veil is lifting and the dark times are finally beginning to be over because, oh man, the last 4 years absolutely did suck, right? It was just so full of stuff that was shitty. And now here we are. The game's got loads of content. Like, what the hell? That's brilliant. So, I hope you're as pumped for all this stuff as I am. I'm just really... I want to say impressed. This is what we should be getting, but hey, that we're getting, it's brilliant because at the end of the day, we're here because we like WoW. Now, if you would like to check out some absolutely awesome lore, check that out. If you would like to support us, then of course there is all of those links down below. And boy howdy, we're releasing a game in like a week. I'm not scared about the game. It's bloody brilliant. But, oh boy. Pretty crazy time. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. See you next time.